So gonna do a trade recap today. I had on ES, so I'm mini ES. Gonna go through everything that I went through. So today was actually one of my rough days. So I ended up losing like $240 today, which obviously isn't miserable, but it was the way I lost it that was a little frustrating. So I'm gonna go over all the confluences I saw today. So big draws of liquidity were these lows. So we had our London session and Asia session relative equal lows. Now, these being not only session lows, but relative equal lows, was showing me these are super strong draws of liquidity. Now, there are a few things I failed to recognize while trading this morning. One of those being NASDAQ taking out these lows. So if we go over to NASDAQ, we see it's literally the same case over here. It's not like one's lower than the other. We also have relative equal lows. So coming down over, we'll keep staying on ES here. We'll go down to the 15-minute time frame, which is where I found this really, really nice bearish order block that we got rejection off of. So we have this 15-minute bearish order block that we had located right here that we obviously saw a pretty strong rejection off of. We are then continuing to move a little bit lower. Now we'll then go on the 5-minute time frame, and we see this big right here, this bullish fair value gap that we completely inversed. Now this really should have been when I entered. Now the problem was these lows never got taken on ES, while these lows that did get hit on NASDAQ. Now, this I thought was pretty interesting, but it is something I failed to recognize. Now, the problem I had today was I usually don't trade until the macro opens. The macro window opened right here on this candle. So at 9:50 is when I enter. Now, we inverse this candle. We inverse this with pretty decent momentum. Obviously, we're not, dropping 100 points below it, but we did inverse it with enough momentum, right, where we have a decent amount of the candle below it, right? We're inversing with quite a bit of momentum. Now, we scale down to the 1-minute time frame. This is where I failed to recognize. Now, I really should have entered right when this candle closed back below this candle, because it would have been at 9:50, which would have been a better entry. I don't know if this would have hit full take profit, but I definitely would have moved stop loss to break even at absolute worst. But the problem was I entered really, really, really late. So the last thing I looked at was this market structure shift at this low, which we ended up getting a closure below. And I really didn't enter until like halfway down this candle, like right around here, which was a really stupid idea. I should have entered at absolute latest up here. Now, again, this would have led to me moving stop loss to break even at absolute worst. Might have hit take profit, I'm not sure. So I had my stop loss set here. I had my take profit right at these lows that I cannot even mark out, so give me 1 second here. But I had my take profit right about at these lows, and stops were right around here. Now, this was mildly frustrating in one of two ways. One, I moved my stop loss. I started to inch my stop loss a little lower than I should have. I mean, if I kept it right here, I would have been in the trade for a little bit longer, and then obviously would have been well within the 50% rule of moving my stop loss to break even here. But also what happened was when NASDAQ took these lows out. Now, NASDAQ took these lows out pretty early, or like right around that area when I entered. So I figured they were both getting it ran through. Now, this is one of the really, 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 really rare times where we have these relative equal lows. It's not even really necessary that you have your take profit, if these are your take profit areas, to have it here. It really should almost all the time be here because, again, these are right next to each other. It's super rare that we're going to get price to tap into this and then move forward without it reaching down here, right? We're already right here. You might as well set take profit to down here. Today was one of those few examples where we ended up literally bottom taking this and moving up. Now, we obviously see this was just a piss poor entry. Really delayed, really should have entered significantly earlier at, honestly, latest this candle right here, the open of this candle, which really should have been when I entered, and then had stops well up here and had take profit here at absolute most. This obviously, again, still wouldn't have hit take profit. It would have been another break-even trade, but would have been a little bit better. Now, this was an issue day, and then also I ended up entering again right around down here, feeling the FOMO, and then lost another like $100 on the account. So it was definitely a FOMO day. Really frustrating because I entered quite late. It was a relatively good setup. Again, would have hit take profit regardless. NASDAQ kind of took these lows out and then ended up rotating back out again. Bias overall was right because right at the end of New York session, mostly because of the Powell speech, but it was bearish. So a little frustrating. Not gonna lie, but it is what it is, man. This is trading. This is what you sign up for. You're gonna have really dumb losses. You're gonna have really frustrating days, but it is what it is.